Hey guys, it's Adam Dorito from the Dark Sabre podcast. Hey, so just we're going to do some case updates, and we're just going to do a little talk around since I am leaving for annual training this weekend, and I'll kind of be off the radar possibly for like a week or two. First we have some good news and some interesting news. I'm not going to say bad news because I don't think it's bad. So the 10th District Court of Appeals did come back today after almost over a year, and they stated that they're still not going to rule on the case right now because they say we have to exhaust more administrative reviews. So basically they're saying that we need to go back to the Air Force Board of Corrections of military records again and then tell them to fix the falsification that they falsified again. And then if they still don't want to agree to it after that, then they'll take up the case and rule on a decision, yes or no. So that's one, just a waste of time and money. For me, that's the Air Force's game. We all know this. We've talked about it in the podcast and everything else. But one thing that they did make a decision on that is very interesting, that I believe is a massive win for us and a massive win for military justice reform, is that they did state in the motion to dismiss for the Air Force that changing someone's medical records, inappropriately mishandling it, is a violation of somebody's constitutional rights. So that is a huge win. And I really want to thank Herb Rubenstein and Dr. Matthew Greifer for putting in so much work on this case, because that is a win for us. That is a win for the military community. And now there is case precedent that can help so many other people. So anyone who's currently going through retaliation right now in the military, where their medical records are being weaponized against them, you can now use Dorito versus USA in its current state, even though it's dismissed until the refiling, as case precedent to fight for yourself, fight your chain of command, and fight the military, because it is a violation of your constitutional rights. Now, even though they did agree with our constitutional rights argument, they still said we had to go back to the Air Force Board of Corrections and military records to fight that, which I find interesting because they're still trying to construe, the Air Force Academy is still trying to construe that I was in the military at the time when they changed the records. However, that is not the case. I was out of the military in 2011. Obviously, it's hard for the courts to understand that. So we haven't given up hope. We haven't even given up the fight. If anything, we are just getting started. Now that we have some case momentum, we might have to reword some things, resubmit some things to the Air Force Board of Corrections and military records, but this opens the door massively to legislative reform with the Military Adjustment Improvement Act, with Dorito versus USA, with that medical records cannot be weaponized against our service members. Okay, so huge thank you to everyone who supported this project so far. It's a little victory today, but it's really going to help us gain the momentum moving forward. Some other updates. We are definitely connecting with some other people in DC. I just actually interviewed for the Carry On podcast. That should be published in the next week or so, talking more in depth about the Air Force Academy, the case, talking about things that we haven't talked about on the podcast yet or other podcasts. So you guys might find that interesting for some case updates and understand the importance of getting this type of fight into the DC community, right? This is where we're going to make the changes, knocking on senators and congressmen's doors and really making them understand the retaliation aspect of this. And now that we have some case precedent, now that we have something to stand on, we can go and say we need to pass a law saying that, that federal courts can rule on military matters and that the military is not a separate society. The military has no exception over regular citizens of the United States, in my opinion. That's what needs to be changed. The fact that the judges, in my opinion, are being cowards, that they won't rule against the military or rule on military matters. They believe that the military should be exempted from these things and they should be able to do whatever they want and handle it internally. I don't believe that, and I think that's something else we can overturn in the courts. I believe that's where this project is heading, and I'm really excited to be part of an ever-growing team every day. We're addressing these issues to take out corrupt chain of command from our military, to make our military better, make our Air Force Academy better, improve West Point and Annapolis, and all these things. With that being said, season 1 is delayed again this week episode 8 of season 1 is delayed again this week because we had some technical difficulties uploading some audio from interviews we had with people in the past. So John's going to get that ironed out this week, and we'll be publishing episode 8 next week, and 9 most likely at the same time, possibly, if we can get it all edited and fixed together. So season 1's almost done. We'll probably get everything published by the end of May. And, class of 21 at USAFA, I really support you guys. I'm really proud of all the work you guys have done. And thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to be part of these projects. and to make our academy, to make our military better. Moving into season 2, we're going to be incorporating West Point and Annapolis. I've talked to other grads at our other fellow service academies, and we'll be continuing. We have so many interviews lined up for Dark Sabre season 2 right now, and we're also going to be incorporating our sister service academies, because we believe that this is a systemic issue. This is not just concentrated to USAFA, and we will hold leaders accountable. We will hold generals accountable. There's no doubt in my mind that at some point in time, myself and many other service members will finally receive justice for the wrongs that were given to them by these corrupt commanders, including my former AOC and, former Superintendent Michael Gould and Lieutenant Colonel Christensen, and Dr. Kristen Nicole Henley Price, who is the doctor who falsified my records. No doubt in my mind. They know it's coming down the pipeline. That's why they've been fighting us so hard, but, this is the message to anyone and any commander who actually in real time, I know at Fairchild Air Force Base right now, I've been talking to a few active duty officers up there who are currently being retaliated against by falsifying mental health records. That is unacceptable. And I promise you, working with those people, we will expose you. We will not let you ruin those people's careers for calling out your corruption, for reporting sexual assault and harassment, reporting unsafe conditions on a base, and then you go ahead and report to the doctor and make these people's medical records look badly on them so they can't be promoted and they have to be removed from the Air Force. I promise you, I will notify everyone that I know in DC about this. So this is just a heads up to Fairchild Air Force Base. The Dark Sabre Project is aware of the corruption occurring by some high-ranking officers there and retaliating against your own service members, and we won't stand for it. We won't allow it. And I just encourage anyone who's going through the same thing to please reach out to us. We will be advocating for you as well. We will end it. And if you're a corrupt officer and you're not doing the right things, you're not living by your oath that you took to this country, I promise you we will help bring you to justice. Once again, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Make sure to click like, share, subscribe, all those things, and let everyone know about what we're doing, where we're going. And if you guys need some stickers, whatever else, please go to www.adamdorito.com. It really helps support the podcast, helps out with a lot of these costs and these media costs of us publishing this stuff. We don't make any money off of it, but it just it helps us do the interviews and everything else. So really appreciate your guys' time, your support, and remember that together we can make a difference.